All right, most people come to Sacramento looking for a bigger house, more space, an actual yard, a garage that can actually park your car, and a bike and a lawnmower. And yes, you can absolutely find that here, but here's the part that nobody warned you about. Sacramento isn't just one city. It's several completely different versions of the California life sitting right next to each other. And the people who pick wrong don't figure it out when they're shopping. They figure it out on a random Tuesday when the drive is a little bit longer than it looked, or the errand ate up the entire afternoon, or the house that they loved is suddenly working against them.
We've helped hundreds of families relocate to this area, and the ones who get it right aren't always the ones with the biggest budget or the most research tabs open. They're the ones who figured out which version of Sacramento actually fits their life before the moving truck showed up.
So in this video today, we're gonna walk you through our complete 2026 Sacramento relocation guide, the different versions of the city, the 20-minute bubble rule that saves people from bad decisions, the real monthly cost, and the mistake relocation buyers make time and time again. We're saving the full game plan for the very end because that's the part that actually makes the whole thing click. Stick with us because it's definitely worth the entire watch. All right, the weirdest thing about Sacramento is that the people usually move here for one reason and end up loving it for a completely different one. Most people show up because the Bay Area finally body slammed their budget, or Southern California started feeling like a financial cage matched with palm trees. They wanted more house, an actual yard, and room to breathe, and it makes total sense why a lot of people are relocating from parts within California to the Sacramento area. The part that nobody sees coming is what happens after they actually get here.
Sacramento has quietly become the California move for people who still want the state, just without the coastal price tag punching them in the face every single month. The Sacramento Metro grew from 1.4 million to 2.4 million people over the last 4 decades. And the pattern is consistent. People still want California. They just want it to make more sense financially. And honestly, that sounds exactly like the calls we get every single week.
We've had some clients that were pretty locked in on new construction. They wanted something clean, easy, no weird old house surprises comparing Folsom Ranch and West Roseville. But after we mapped out what they actually might be doing Monday through Friday, where they work, where they like to eat, how often they needed to be near the city, what they actually wanted their weekends to look like, the bigger house wasn't an automatic winner, and that's where places like Midtown, East Sacramento, and Land Park started making a whole lot more sense.
They wanted to spend more time closer to the core of Sacramento. We're talking East Sacramento, Land Park, Curtis Park, streets where the house might be older, but the whole area feels connected. Suddenly, they were not just comparing square footage, they were comparing 2 completely different versions of daily life.
We've also seen the opposite happen with a lot of people who come into town. Somebody thinks they want that city energy, they want the downtown nightlife, the midtown nightlife, and then they spend some time in Folsom, Rockland, or even Roseville or Elk Grove, and then they see the trails, the garage, the 2-car garages, the youth sports rhythm, the easier Target runs, and then suburbia starts to feel a little bit nicer and not as boring as they thought, and life just got a whole lot easier. All right, real quick, before we keep going, if this is your first time to the channel, we're Lance and Lauren with the Living in Sacramento team, where we make these videos for you guys about what it's really like living, moving, and relocating to the Sacramento and surrounding areas. We help hundreds of people buy and sell homes right here in the Sacramento Metro, and we're dropping videos every single week so you have real boots on the ground info so you can make the best decision possible on which Sacramento suburb is right for you. Now, on top of making these videos, we're also licensed real estate agents in the state of California, which means that as much as we love making these videos, we actually love helping you more with all of your real estate needs. So that phone number is going to be popping up. We are the ones that answer every phone call, email, and text message, or better yet, go ahead and scan that QR code and book your one-on-one strategy session so we can help put together the best game plan that's right for you on making the move to the greater Sacramento area.
Two people can move to Sacramento with the exact same budget and end up living completely different lives. One might be closer to the core, walking older sidewalks, grabbing dinner without turning the night into a whole production, while the other might have a newer home, a wider driveway, practice fields 10 minutes away, and a schedule that finally lines up. And sometimes they're shockingly close in price. Let me break down the 4 main versions you're really choosing between. Version 1 is city character. Think East Sacramento, the Fab 40s, Land Park, Curtis Park, Tahoe Park, Oak Park, Midtown adjacent pockets, and parts of Carmichael. You've got porch lights under the big shade trees, older sidewalks, homes with personality, routines that are built over time instead of dropped into a master plan community. Maybe you're walking near McKinley Park, grabbing dinner from Sellen's because cooking lost the battle by 4:30. The trade is character. You're not buying perfect, you're buying texture. Version 2 is going to be a polished suburban vibe. We're talking Roseville, Rockland, Folsom, Elk Grove, Fair Oaks, Orangevale, or Rancho Cordova. You've got practice fields, trail loops, medical offices, wider streets, a day where the orthodontist, the gym, and dinner don't all feel like they live in different counties. Roseville gives you retail, job centers, hospitals, and errands that stack without eating your whole day, while Rockland feels dialed in and long haul. Folsom brings the lake, trail systems, old Folsom energy, and established neighborhoods mixed with newer build-out. Then you've got version 3, new construction and growth zones everywhere. We're talking West Roseville, Folsom Ranch, Rancho Cordova, parts of Lincoln, Elk Grove, Natomas, and parts of select El Dorado Hills. You've got clean layouts, open kitchens, bigger laundry rooms, energy efficient builds, and maybe a builder incentive if the timing lines up just right and you like exactly what they have. Now, some pockets are still filling in though. The house might be ready before the restaurants, parks, schools, or shortcuts feel fully dialed in. For some buyers, that's not a deal breaker, it's the whole bet. Get the newer house now while the whole area builds around you. Then you've got version 4, foothills and privacy. We're talking Granite Bay, El Dorado Hills, Loomis, Auburn, and parts of Fair Oaks. You've got longer driveways, darker nights, more sky, more distance between homes. Not always cheap and not always close. But for the buyer who wants privacy, room for hobbies, and a little separation from the grind, those areas definitely hit different. None of those versions is automatically better. They're built for different people living completely different lives. One thing worth knowing though, Midtown and downtown can give you the cleanest shot at a car-light lifestyle. Deeper into the suburbs or foothill Sacramento becomes much more car-oriented, where you're gonna need a car for just about everything. Now that's not bad, it's just a completely different rhythm, and you need to know which one you're signing up for before you pick the house. Now drop your version in the comments, whether you like city character, a polished suburb, new construction, foothill views, or the biggest house for the money. I'm always curious where people think they fit before they actually start touring our area.
So here's the thing, you can have it all figured out, know exactly which version you want, find the right neighborhood, and still pick the wrong house, because the version of Sacramento you tour on a Saturday isn't the same city you're gonna live in on a Tuesday. That's where the rules come in, and that's one of the biggest things that buyers skip on their relocation. The house you love online might be actually lying to you, not because the photos are fake or the kitchen's ugly in person. The problem is the listing can't show you the part where the day starts moving. A drive looks 18 minutes at 9:30 on a Sunday night can turn into a completely different animal when you have to add a downtown office day, a hospital shift near UC Davis Med Center, an after-school pickup, a half-mile metro squeezing some freeway corridors. The little blue line gives you distance, but it doesn't give you friction. Now, with every single one of our relocation clients, we use something called the 20-minute bubble. Now, this isn't some perfect stopwatch rule where every piece of your life has to sit inside of that 20-minute circle, but your goal is simple. Your home should sit close enough to places your life already touches. Work, school, if that applies, family, healthcare, practice fields, grocery stops, airport runs, the places that you use without thinking on a day-to-day basis. Spread those anchors in 4 directions and the house might look great on paper, but when your calendar starts acting like a second job, that's where people really start to hate Sacramento. Now, this is super important when it comes to Sacramento because we don't have a clean loop freeway system wrapping around the entire metro. If you're working along the I-80 corridor, you're probably gonna wanna choose places like Roseville, Rockland, Lincoln, or even places in Carmichael. If you're working along the 50 corridor, then you're probably gonna choose places like Folsom, Rancho Cordova, even El Dorado Hills, Highway 99 and I-5 going south towards Elk Grove, same thing. Those corridors can make 2 homes with the same mileage feel nothing like behind the wheel. West Roseville might be perfect for one buyer and a headache for somebody who has to be on Highway 50 constantly. South Rancho Cordova can be a strong fit for some buyers if your life is anchored on that side, but it can be clunky, extremely fast if you've got to go to Rockland or Kaiser Roseville all the time. Elk Grove makes a ton of sense when your world lines up south, but the airport runs and regular trips up north to the river or the lake, those can be pressure tested real quick before the kitchen starts making decisions for you. And we always ask the question, does this house make your day easier or does it quietly tax your time? The wrong location can sneak up on you fast. 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there, an annoying drive that turns into 5 or 15 minutes, and suddenly you bought square footage but paid for it with your sanity. Before the house wins you over, draw that bubble first, start with your commute anchors, add school or family needs, layer in the places that you constantly go to on a regular basis, then look at the areas that keep your life normal inside of the realistic radius. We're talking Monday through Friday, not the fantasy stuff on Saturdays and Sundays. Do that and the map stops feeling like a giant guessing game.
Okay, bubble drawn, area narrowed. Now you're standing in front of 3 houses in the same zone. Similar price, all 3 look solid. One is older with character, one may be a suburban resale, and one is brand new. Which one are you gonna pick? Now, most buyers get this wrong, not because the house is bad, but because they didn't know what each path was actually going to cost them. Every Sacramento home comes with a trade. The trick is knowing which one will annoy you the least. Is it going to be old bones, suburban resale, or fresh drywall? All three can work, but they don't hit your wallet, patience, inspection report, or monthly payment the same way. Older central pockets like East Sac, Land Park, Curtis Park, or Tahoe Park, you're buying location, history, texture, and definitely charm. Now, they've got real character, easy access to the core, a street that already feels settled. But older homes definitely come with grown-up homework. We're talking inspections that actually matter. We're looking into the roof, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, drainage, foundation, sewer lines, all of the stuff nobody wants to talk about when the living room has good light and the street feels right. You may get a house with sold, but that sold may also ask you for 15 grand at the worst possible time. Now, it's not scary, but buyers need to respect that. Now, the next one's going to be suburban resale, which definitely plays a completely different game. We're talking Roseville, Rockland, Folsom, Elk Grove, Rancho Cordova, or Orangevale. Now, you may get the more practical package with a bigger layout, better storage, wider garages, and the stuff you actually use every single week already built right around you. Resale suburbs doesn't automatically mean move-in ready, though. A lot of homes from the 90s and early 2000s have great bones, but some are still emotionally attached to honey oak, tile countertops, beige walls, and carpet in every single room where carpet had no business being trusted. You might not replace the roof right away, but you may still stare at the kitchen and think, okay, we're gonna have to talk. New construction, however, is the clean slate temptation. We're talking West Roseville, Folsom Ranch, Rancho Cordova, parts of Lincoln, Elk Grove, and Natomas. You get a newer layout, an open kitchen, laundry room that doesn't feel like a punishment, and the sweet relief of knowing nobody painted the cabinets with a YouTube tutorial and vibes. Now, for the right buyer, new construction can be a cheat code. Sometimes a brand new home with builder incentives can compete hard against an older resale home on a monthly payment, even when the sticker price doesn't look dramatically lower. We're talking rate buydowns, closing cost credits, appliance packages, design upgrades. All of it changes the math. The Sacramento area, where builders sold about 5,700 new homes in 2025, this isn't a tiny side category, it's a real part of the market. But new construction still has math hiding under all of that pretty stuff. We're talking property taxes, HOA, solar payments, Melrose, or special assessments where it's applicable. You've got lot premiums, upgrades for everything you could possibly think of, landscaping your backyard because it's going to be a dirt slate when you first get it, and window coverings. Now, sometimes the house is finished before the neighborhood catches up. A sign that says coming soon can do a lot of heavy lifting when you're standing in a sales office, so don't ask which path is best. Ask which ownership trade you can actually live with. Older Sacramento is amazing if you're ready for maintenance. Suburban resale is going to be more tested, but you might inherit someone else's 2003 design choices. New construction, on the other hand, is going to be clean on day one, but understand the real monthly number and how long the area takes to fill in. Pretending these are the same search is where buyers get completely sideways. You definitely need to think through which possible scenario is going to be the best fit for you.
Look, now before we get into the money part, drop something in the comments down below. What is pulling you towards Sacramento? Is it more space, lower cost than the coast, lifestyle upgrades, family reasons, or is it just finally done with wherever you're at right now? Tell us down below. We read every single one of these comments, especially those of you guys that are moving from the cold Chicago, Northwest climates, because the next section is the one that most people get completely wrong, and it's the number hiding right underneath that everybody stares at. The cheapest looking house in Sacramento can be the one that hits your monthly budget the hardest. Everyone stares at the list price first. Totally makes sense. It's the big shiny number that you're setting your entire budget off of that either makes you lean in or close the tab real quick. But this list price is only the cover charge. The real question isn't, can I buy this house? It's whether or not you can own it and still enjoy your life after you move to Sacramento. Sacramento can feel affordable and expensive at the exact same time, and that's where people get thrown off. Compared to the Bay Area, San Jose, Los Angeles, or even parts of Orange County, Sacramento can feel like somebody finally cracked the window and let in some oxygen back into the room. Compared to the local wages, first-time homebuyers, or somebody trying to buy a detached home with today's rates, it can still feel like a heavyweight fight in a tiny kitchen. That tension is the entire game. Now, places like East Sac, Land Park, Curtis Park, you're paying for location and character and proximity to downtown Sacramento. Places a little bit further out like Natomas, Sierra Oaks, Rancho Cordova, or even the northern part of Elk Grove, different price band, different trade. Now you get a little bit further out, you got Folsom, Roseville, Granite Bay, El Dorado Hills, even heck where I'm at right now, Fair Oaks. And it's definitely different again because buyers are paying for a mix of house size, condition, location, and how hard that pocket is to replace. Now, the thing is one median number can't tell you actually how Sacramento prices out for you and your budget. Stop asking only what's the price. Start asking what does the thing cost me every single month. Now, two houses can both be listed at $625,000 and hit your bank account completely different. One might have lower taxes and no HOA. The other might be in a new construction zone where it has a higher tax rate, solar, HOA special assessments, and higher utility costs that walk in like they own the place. Now, California Association of Realtors has been tracking affordability closely. The share of households able to qualify for a bottom tier home mortgage dropped from around 57% in 2019 to 46% in 2026. People aren't being dramatic when they're focusing on the payment, and it has to survive the groceries, the gas, and the summer AC when you're living in a hot place like Sacramento. But nobody wants to be house rich and lifestyle poor. Now, there are a few things that can catch people off guard. Insurance, definitely get quotes earlier before you get surprised, especially if you're looking at older homes with larger lots up in the foothills or anything where there's a potential fire risk. Utilities, SMUD versus PG&E versus City of Roseville, or dealing with both can matter more than buyers expect, especially when July, we're only in May right now, but especially when July starts to heat up, August, and we're dealing with AC units, and then definitely those new construction areas with Melrose. If you're looking at newer builds on the growth corridors, ask about the special assessments before the kitchen starts making decisions for you. The buyers who move smart here aren't chasing the biggest approval number. They're looking for the payment that lets them sleep at night, keep cash in the bank, and still enjoy Sacramento after the moving boxes are gone. Comment payment below if you want us to do a full breakdown on what actually changes your monthly cost here, because the purchase price is only one piece of the puzzle.
You don't really know if you picked the right part of Sacramento until the moving boxes stop being cute. For the first few days, you can romanticize almost anything. Takeout on the floor, chargers missing, half your stuff in the garage, one mystery box labeled kitchen that somehow has towels in it. You tell yourself everything will calm down after one more trip to Target, then Monday hits, the alarm goes off, the dog is pacing, somebody needs to be across town, and the house you loved in photos suddenly has to perform under pressure. With work, school, appointments, address change nonsense, the first real grocery run, the AC already working overtime because Sacramento decided July needed to start a little early, a quick errand that should take 15 minutes but somehow turns into a 42-minute side quest because your house sits outside the way of your life actually moving. That's when the house stops being a purchase and starts becoming your routine. When the location works, you feel it in small ways. One normal evening doesn't require crossing 2 freeway corridors. Friday night doesn't need a logistics meeting. A Kings game, downtown, dinner at Drake's, the barn, or a quick run through Doco feels doable instead of dramatic. That day to night shift matters because the area that works at noon may not feel as easy once dinner plans, parking, and drive time show up. You actually use the place you move to. Closer to the core, plans don't need as much choreography. However, in the suburbs, the win is usually less chaos between school, practice, groceries, and appointments. On the edges, you might get the quiet in the sky, but you pay for it with planning. When the fit is wrong, the problem usually nags before it screams. You avoid OneDrive, the place you swore you'd use all the time slowly disappears from your routine. Friday plans start feeling like work, Sunday night feels heavier than it should, and little by little, the house still looks good, but your life definitely feels tighter. Those little annoyances are definitely not random.
All right, the buyer who makes the worst decision usually feels super confident right before they make that decision. They found the house that looks good, the payment seems close enough, the photos are doing their little magic trick that always happens when you walk into the home, and their brain starts filling in the blank with optimism. The commute is probably fine, the area seems close enough, we can figure out the rest later. That is the buyer autopilot, and Sacramento always has a way of taxing that confidence. The photos are usually where the trouble starts. The backyard has you picturing patio furniture that you don't even own yet, the kitchen looks clean, the price feels close enough, and suddenly the area becomes background noise. In Sacramento, that will get you every time. A pretty listing doesn't fix a bad daily setup, no matter how good the lighting was. The scouting weekend trap, a weekend visit can help, but it also can make people be way too sure of themselves. Sacramento on a relaxed Saturday isn't the Sacramento when deadlines are real, school calendars are moving, and everybody is trying to get somewhere at the exact same time. A good lunch and 3 calm neighborhood drives can get you feeling all sorts of confidence, but they don't do the whole job. Buyers always get sideways when they treat every suburb like it runs on the same type of software. 2 areas can look super clean online, but one may be mostly like an older resale neighborhood with lower taxes, while the other might be, newer home development with newer phases, HOAs, Melrose, builder timelines, and a monthly number that might shock you when everything's said and done. The little detail can change the whole deal, and then there's the late game scramble. People watch videos for months, scroll listings at midnight, save homes they never tour, and then suddenly the move is upon you. Leases are ending, rate locks are ticking, school enrollment windows are coming up quick, and the moving truck date is finally here with the family pressure. Now they're 30 days out and every house starts looking better because time got really loud really fast. And here's the part that surprises a lot of people. The best Sacramento move isn't the prettiest house, it's not even the newest house, or it's not even the cheapest house. Sometimes the right move for your family is the one that gives you less friction. People think that they're choosing property, but they're really choosing how much energy gets burned before the day even starts. How easy is it to say yes to plans, whether the house supports their life, or it keeps asking more and more from them just because of their daily lifestyle and things to do. Most people make their Sacramento search harder by refusing to eliminate anything. They keep too many areas alive for way too long, and pretty soon the entire Sacramento Metro is bouncing around their head like a real estate snow globe. Older core, new construction, foothills, South Placer County, bigger house, shorter drive, lower payment, better layout. Every option looks half right and nothing gets any cleaner.
The search gets cleaner when you stop trying to learn every corner of the Metro and start cutting early. Your anchors are the things that can wreck the move if you ignore them. Commute reality, lease timing, school enrollment windows, if that applies, insurance quotes, tax bills, special assessments, how much cash you want left after closing, pull the tax bill, get the insurance quote, ask what the builder is actually including, drive the route when you'd actually drive it. The prettiest listing doesn't get to outrank your life.
This is something that we tell you guys every time on the one-on-one strategy session. Your first visit should probably be about 70% areas, maybe only 20 or 30% actual house hunting. You should be whittling those down every time you come in, and by the time you're done after 2 or 3 visits, you should be 100% on houses because you've zeroed it in. Narrow the map to 1 to 3 target zones. More than that and you're not searching. The older core might fit if you want proximity and texture and can handle the house with a little attitude or a little bit of maintenance. Placer County may make more sense if your life needs that suburban setup, space, and structure. Elk Grove or Rancho Cordova might make the math work without pushing you into the highest price lane. The foothills can have some amazing views and great proximity to hiking and some of the outdoors, but insurance, drive time, and your daily logistics can either confirm it or knock it off the board real quick.
Let the areas fall away before you get emotionally attached to a kitchen island and start pretending the rest will sort itself out. Run 2 real drive tests before you trust the map. One when life is easy, one when the day is moving. Look at the stuff nobody brags about, but everybody lives with. We're talking groceries, healthcare, practice fields, utilities, taxes, insurance, HOA, Melrose where acceptable. Compare resale and new construction side by side, not just the price, but by what each one asks for from you after closing.
Guys, it's always recommended to do this before the moving truck is booked, the rate lock is ticking, and every house suddenly looks better because the time got a whole lot louder. Check out the grocery stores, check out the coffee shops, the breakfast spots, all of the things that are gonna be in your day-to-day bubble. That's when the search finally starts getting a whole lot cleaner. You're only looking at a few houses that can hold your life without making it weird.
If you're still watching at this point, you're probably not casually browsing. You're trying to figure out whether Sacramento could actually work for your life. And that means you're already thinking about this move the right way. Comment Sacramento plan down below because the next step is simple. Stop guessing and get a real plan around your budget, your timeline, and the way you actually want to live once you're here.
The best Sacramento move isn't the one that looks perfect online, it's the one that still feels right when your real life starts bossing you around. We've covered the different versions of Sacramento living, the 20-minute bubble rule, city character versus suburban resale versus new construction, all of the real monthly costs, the post-move lifestyle check, and the mistakes that people get sideways.
We've seen people come in chasing the biggest house for the money, then realize the drive and school run and the regular week mattered way more than the extra bedroom. We've also seen buyers get excited about a new build price, then slow down fast once we walk through taxes, Melrose, upgrades, and the real monthly number. That's the part you can't guess your way through because guessing usually costs you time, money, weekends, and even your sanity.
So if you're still thinking about making the move to Sacramento in 2026, call us, text us, or email us. Our information is going to be in the description below and pinned in the chat. We are the ones that answer every phone call, email, and text message. Now, before you take off, go ahead and watch this playlist of all the Sacramento suburbs. This video on the screen right now will take you deeper into where people are actually choosing to live around Sacramento, and it might save you some time from chasing down the wrong area before you ever book a flight out here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.